Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It is a warm day over here in England, Manchester, and all my windows are open, so please excuse me if you hear birds tweeting or the wind blowing. But today we're going to be talking about the 9th edition rulebook and some of the interesting lore from that book. A massive shout out once again to a chap called Shaskais for providing me with all this information. He is absolutely legendary. Please go over to his subreddit, link is in the description down below. Now let's jump in and let's talk some lore. Because of the conditions of the Imperium and the hostility of the 40k galaxy, even the most worthy and noble of the Imperial rulers are forced to be oppressive to keep their people alive. The forces of the Imperium fight on not for any rational hope of victory. Their war is not about freedom, honour or a better tomorrow. It's merely for the right to survive and see the next dawn. There is no hope, just mankind's last defiant stand against the hungry dark that seeks to consume it. Warzone, Sol, not even the Sol system is safe. It is beset by foes like never before. Warzone Cadia, the shattered remains of Cadia have become the heart of the expanding traitor empire. The loyal worlds of the Cadian Gate continue to fight back against the worshippers of the ruinous powers while praying for a salvation that may never come. Warzone Nachmund, the Nachmund Gauntlet is one of two stable passages through the Great Rifts. The planets located at its two entryways are Vigilus and Sanguiterra. They are both under furious attack from Chaos and Xenos. From the throat of the gauntlet, the Chaos Knights of Darafor march forth to lend their might on the ongoing wars. Warzone Bal, the Blood Angels and their successors are fighting a war of survival against a vast tendril of High Fleet Leviathan. To make matters worse, a demonic invasion is doubtless to happen. Warzone Ultramar, the Death Guard continue to press the defences of Ultramar, while Orcs and Tyranids are pushing into the realm's borders, further stretching its forces. Most of the humans born in the Imperium Sanctus, which the half of the Imperium functions, live lives of toil and fear before eventually dying from exhaustion, hardship or malnutrition, or an industrial accident. They are crushed by the weight of the Imperial oppression and are given desperate solace by the Imperial faith. The fall of Cadia, the breaking of the Emethial demon cage, the fracture of Beltan, Magnus's revenge on Fenris, the firebombings of the Damocles Gulf and other events have shattered the fabric of reality in the final days of M41. Any or all of these events might be responsible for the creation of the Great Rift. Whatever its origins, the rift continues to rage and expand, devouring entire races in its wake. Most of mankind would be driven to despairing madness if they knew the truth behind the Emperor. The Emperor can no longer lead the armies of the Imperium, nor communicate with his subjects. His role in the Imperium has become more metaphysical. His spirit bestrides the warp and battles against endless forces of chaos that would otherwise burst into reality and tear apart mankind. Though the Imperium has diverged greatly from what he envisioned, the Emperor is giving all his might to defend it. Despite all the defences of the Sol system and Terror, the Emperor is still in danger. The Sol system is beset by heretics, demons and Xenos. Their fleets endlessly test the Emperor's defences. The Golden Throne is whispered to be failing, and the Admech's lack of knowledge to fix it and maintain it. The Emperor's hunger for Psychic souls is becoming insatiable, signalling that the Emperor's soul might be fading. If that is the case, then mankind is doomed. If the Emperor falls, then humanity will follow him into oblivion. Chapter Masters possess greater power and autonomy than planetary governors. Ordo Celtorium was founded to understand and combat the plagues of Nurgle. Ordo Kronos exists to monitor and eliminate the chronodaktary time stream created by flicknesses of the warp. Ordo Barbarus oversees the pre-industrial Imperial worlds and ensures they do not fall to deviant worship. Ordo Sicarius monitors the deeds of Imperial assassins. Not even the segmenting solar is stable and united. The further you travel away from Terra, the more wild and dangerous Imperial space becomes, pocketed with vast regions outside of Imperial control. The far-flung regions, like the Western Fringes and the Halo Stars, are the wildest. The majority of those who fall to chaos don't start out as evil. Their noble intentions and ideals are eroded and twisted as they descend through the slippery slope towards damnation. The teachings of the Admech religion grew from the terrors of the Age of Strife. They warn against the dangers of rampant innovation. This made the experimentation and innovation heretical to the Admech. The Age of Strife had shattered humanity's sense of galactic destiny. The 1,000 years of galactic catastrophe had left a deep mark on the collective psyche of mankind, transforming the species into a closed-minded and violently conservative societies in which mistrust and curiosity, innovation, the alien and the psyche flourished are almost indistinguishable. That's why most of the humans are keen to embrace the dream of unity of the Emperor's Imperium, and why unfortunately they regressed to their old ignorant ways when the Emperor was enthroned. When the Imperium first encountered the primitive Tau, they were marked for potential further study and exploitation, and then they were ignored. When the Imperium encountered the Tau again, they had developed into a technology-advanced and ideological-driven empire. The Admech were perplexed by the spread of which the Tau developed, and they put it down to monstrous alien heresy. The most important question for the Imperium concerning the Tau is how they drive them back. The Damocles Crusade was the most serious attempt at that. The bloody and grinding war ended in a draw. After failing to keep pace with the Tau forces that kept outmaneuvering them and not wanting to risk populations of the Imperium falling to the utopian promise of the Tau, the Imperium was forced to enact a broad-fronted annihilation protocol to escape a desperate war. Using ancient Admech technology, the Imperium created a firebreak of worlds in the path of the Tau expansion, though it's unlikely that the Imperium has seen the last of the Tau. All races face the Tyranid threat to survive. Yet with the forces of chaos and the Great Rift spreading anarchy and destruction across the stars, it's doubtful that any one power can turn back the Tyranids. After the opening of the Great Rift, the Eldari had sensed the growing swell of psychic energy spilling into the galaxy from the warp rifts that had crisscrossed across the galaxy. They themselves had long trained to guard against such things. However, the Eldari know that this isn't the case for mankind, so widespread and vulnerable mankind is to the touch of the warp, and that psychic apocalypse looms over the galaxy. No xenos race would escape its consequences. Thus the Eldari sent its agents to warn mankind, but they cannot compel the humans to act or share this knowledge. The swelling psychic power had driven the orcs into the greater heights of frenzy and bloodlust. Green energies leap around from forms of their warlords as they lead their wars amidst the deep booming laughter of their murderous gods. Both Tau and Tyranids were immune to the touch of the warp, though utterly without psychic presence. The Tau found themselves beset by manifestations that their sciences could not explain. They deduced that the humanity and other psychically insensitive creatures were the cause. In the response to this, the Tau are becoming more intolerant to the alien races and more aggressive to their neutralization. As for the Tyranids, their tendrils snake even the most warp-affected regions to strike at the Imperium from unexpected directions. The response of the Necrons to the psychic threat was the most dangerous of all. With no intention of tolerating the loss of their dominions, the Necrons applied their Eldritch technology to create the final solution for the warp. This is a threat that the Imperium must fight with all its might, lest the Necrons drive the galaxy to an even more terrible fate: soul death. The Black Legion, most of all Abaddon himself, are at the heart of those thunderous beasts keeping the long war going. Abaddon would stop at nothing to see Terra burn. With his plan of spawning the Great Rift a success, Abaddon is preparing his next ruinous blow against the Imperium. Marines, despite their conditioning, are not completely immune to human weakness. The subtle temptations of chaos can find purchase within them. All renegade space marines eventually fall to chaos, one way or another. Abaddon might have retreated from Vigilus, but he had left many warbands that continued the fight. The traitors had lost focus with their departure of their master, but war rages on, and it's only a matter of time before Abaddon returns to Vigilus. Warzone Scourge stars. The legions of Nurgle conquered the systems north of the Ultramar sector and transformed them into the demonic bastions of plague and pestilence, yet their conquest was not complete. Imperial holdouts exist within the Scourge stars. Chief among them is the Sanctuary of the Order of the Valorous Heart. The Nurgle-like forces besiege strongholds of these Imperial survivors. However, they soon find themselves besieged. The minions of Nurgle's brothers in darkness had come to the Scourge Star to contest the Plague God's hold over them. A demonic free-for-all erupted, with the Imperial survivors caught in between, trying to do whatever they can to stem the demon tide from spreading further. The Tyranids have assimilated the genetic bounty that's reaped from mankind, the Eldari and the Orcs, adding strength of these species into themselves, making Tyranid invasions even more dangerous. No race in the galaxy has the power, skill and knowledge needed to restore or maintain the webway. Thus, the webway is doomed to decline as the Eldari who use it. Not only the followers of Chaos prowl the depths of the webway, strange beings from multiple other realities can be found there. Before entering the Great Sleep, the Necrons erected the pylons to hold back the tides of chaos. Entropy and war had destroyed much of the Necron pylon array. Awakened by the rising power of chaos, the Technomandrites seek to rebuild their ancient work. And that is all we have. Now, most of the stuff there is kind of known through us all. There's a couple of new things in there that I've learned from the new 9th edition, but nothing that really jumps out on the page and says, okay, this is something massive, this is something new. I'm sure we're going to get many more campaigns through 9th edition based on some of the stuff that we've talked about during this little read through. I would love to get your thoughts and feedback on this, as I always do. Please post below in the comment section. What do you think? What would you like to happen with the lore in 9th edition? What galaxy event would you like to see? Maybe, to do with Eldar, Chaos, Tyranids, Necrons. Post it down below and we can have a nice little chat down there as we always do. See you now, have a great day, and bye bye.